Hello Aquarius friends, I hope you're doing well. And this reading is for the month of September 2020. Now, on the 17th of this month, we have a beautiful new moon. It's in Virgo, and it's getting a lot of help from Saturn. And so, my Aquarius friends, if there's any plans you've been thinking about putting into action, anything you have been contemplating committing to, which I know is a big consideration for many of you, especially if it has to do with a new routine, a new lifestyle, a new habit. Absolutely, this new moon is a gorgeous platform to jump off of into that new path, all right? So let it work for you and not against you. All right, let's see what the cards have to say to you this month. Well, that's a lovely energy to start with. So the core of this reading has already started in a somewhat feeling place. Many of you may be experiencing new emotions around a relationship, a person, or honestly with this, sometimes this is getting more and more in touch with your spiritual side or your healing side and having emotions come up that are, you know, what's the word? I'm not going to put any judgment on them. They don't have to be good or bad. It's just they're really talking about many of you having a helper of some sort, a helper heal you emotionally, and that can be a partner or a new partner, or it can be a guru or a therapist. But the point is that's a very important work. And pardon me. What's interesting to me is that many of you may have gotten here by accident because the Wheel of Fortune is what you're standing on. And it sort of just makes me think of that quote by John Lennon of like, life is what happens when you're, I don't know, going somewhere. Okay, that's not the quote. But the sense is that sometimes we end up in new territory by accident because life threw us one thing and we start dealing with that, and then all of a sudden this other door opens where you're led to a path that you never would have expected because you weren't planning on it, but life had other ideas of what it was going to throw at you. And that's very much the energy of Aquarius in this time period. It's sort of like having some unexpected things happen and then you just roll with it. Now, of course, you can make your own luck. I mean, some of you could have planned these changes, but it seems like what they're talking about right now is that sometimes the way that we grow most is just sort of walking along and then bam, something happened. Now we got to deal. And now this whole new thing flowers open. What I really love is that this beautiful message from your guides is that your dreams can come true. And in fact, they are already probably coming true. And you didn't even know that you wanted to have dreams come true that are coming true right now. So this reading's so interesting. The question is commitment, right? Because when you have the Chariot come up, you know, for some of you, maybe you have now found yourself in new emotional territory, new territory that you didn't even know that you're going to go into. And now you're like, now what? Like, what are my goals now? You know? And that's just very interesting. And definitely even in the outcome, this is a very passionate energy to have the Ace of Wands with the Empress. That's like the synergy of yin and yang. So I just think that many of you are going to be coming into new relationship territory that's positive this month. And this can be a new relationship. It can be an existing relationship. It can even be a long-term relationship that somehow is going into new territory and it was unexpected. All right, and that is it. Really, that's a big message from this reading. It's all about relationship this month. So I definitely think it's something to think about and look at, and it's very positive, okay? Now, if I look and read things a little bit of a different way, you know, the card representing you the most right now is the Queen of Fire. No matter, you know, how you identify, this energy is a very magnetic energy that it seems like when people are really harnessing the Queen of Fire energy, they can really pull in anything they need, especially with this Empress outcome as well. Those are like two of the most charismatic, magnetizing cards in the deck. And so for many of you Aquarians, I just have got to say, this month could hold a lot of power, especially if you combine it with that Virgo new moon that's really working with Saturn. There's like an ability of Aquarius this month to really commit to something that could be life-changing, whether that's a person or a new lifestyle or something, you know, that's huge or small that has a really big ripple effect for you over the next coming year or years. This is such a beautiful reading, Aquarius. I just feel like telling you all systems go on all fronts, especially, you know, coming out of the Wheel of Fortune. That can be a very, it's always going to be interesting. The Wheel of Fortune is sometimes just a wild ride because you're not in control. So I've got to say, there's a much gentler, positive, forward-moving energy coming then, wow, here you go, deal with this, deal with this, deal with this. Like, because you had to do all that in the last year or whatever, you are now in a new place, right? And this new place looks a lot actually better. And I do have to say, I don't believe that there's any accidents, and I do believe we live in an interactive universe and that it does have our back. And so even things that look scary or negative that we've gone through, ultimately in the end can be our biggest gifts. And I feel like now you went through the scary part and now you're in the gift part. So I hope you found this interesting. I hope you found it informative. And I will check back in with you next month, which is already October, which is crazy. All right. Stay safe. Bye.